Welcome back to the channel, everyone. So today I want to bring to your attention a massive change that's happening in April next year. This is going to affect an awful lot of sole traders and property landlords as well. Hence why I'm now been made aware of it by my accountant that this big change is coming. And I don't see that it's a change for the better for anyone at all. I'm going to read some of the stuff off of the Simple Tax website. So gosimpleTax.com. I've just had a quick look on their website for a basic rundown, and it'll possibly be easier for me to read it to you. And then we can get into discussing about where the advantages are for the individual and not the authorities. So when the introduction of Making Tax Digital for Income Tax Self-Assessment, MTD for ITSA, was first announced back in 2015, the response was less than enthusiastic. Well, we'll come on to that in a minute. Life's busy enough when you're running your own business, so the very last thing sole traders need is a major change in how they must report their self-employment income. Now, I'm going to break away from this all the time as I'm reading this. And just sort of go into that a little bit more. As it stands right now, and since I've been in business, you have to make your tax declarations by the 31st of January, and your tax has to be paid by the 31st of January. If you miss that deadline, there's an immediate £100 fine. So it's really, really important if you're self-employed, or as they keep putting it, a private landlord, then you need to have these, if you're a sole trader, you need to have your declarations made by the 31st of January every year. Now, the tax declaration is from the 6th of April to the 5th of April the previous year. So what they're proposing to do, well, let's just get on with it. Yes, let's just have a little read. The same is true of small private landlords and their rental incomes. More tax admin, more often. Who wants that? The phrase of MTD for ITSA's introduction now looks likely to go ahead in April 2026. So if you're a freelancer, a sole trader, or a private landlord who currently reports their taxable income via self-assessment, what 10 key things do you need to know about MTD for ITSA? So it's going to be introduced basically on the 6th of April next year. The crux of this is, instead of doing a yearly declaration, you're going to have to do one every 3 months. So 4 times a year. And then I still believe that you need to do your 31st of January tax declaration, and then you have to pay your taxes exactly the same. So now you've got 4 times the amount of work, well, actually 5 times, because you've still got to do the self-assessment at the end of the financial year. So where is that good for anyone? I mean, it's hard enough at the moment trying to make a living without having to, the extra burden of every 3 months. And if you fail, don't you worry, there's going to be hefty fines coming as well. So without the burden of every 3 months having to do your tax returns via your accountant or on the online website, however it will be, obviously there's going to have to be compatible software that's going to have to be paid. This is going to be a huge pain in the neck for anyone that's self-employed. Now, as it stands right now, that is on a gross income of £50,000 or more. Now, that's not a net income, that's a gross income. So if you're, if you're a builder, for argument's sake, and you go to work, you're going to quite easily go a gross income of £50,000. That's not what you earn, that's the business take before any deductions. So before deductions for materials, before travelling expenses, for tools, for anything like that, fines that you get, parking tickets, all that sort of stuff, business related, mobile phones, office space, you name it. So the £50,000 is your gross take before any deductions. So, a £50,000 builder might only actually earn, £20,000 a year. So it's going to affect every sole trader and private landlord with an income of £50,000 or more, not profit, income. So let's have a little look at some of these. I'm probably going to go over a couple of these. So bullet point number 1, from the 6th of April 2026, sole traders, freelancers, landlords with a gross trading or rental income of more than £50,000 must comply with MTD for ITSA accounting and reporting requirements. Otherwise, they face having to pay a fine. Of course they do. From the 6th of April 2027, sole traders, freelancers and landlords with gross trading rental income of £30,000 to £50,000 will need to comply with MTD for ITSA accounting and reporting rules. So already the first year they're going to have everyone with £50,000 gross income. The second year it's going to be £30,000. So they're already, it's going to just affect absolutely everyone. We're basically, guys and girls, got to get used to doing quarterly returns to your accountant or straight to the HMRC. And that is going to be a pain. Now, if you're on holiday or if you're away or you're busy or, it's hard enough at the moment to keep on top of the bills, the way things are, the expenses, the increase in mortgage, the cost of living has gone up crazy. And now we've got to do that every 3 months. It's hardly now worth being self-employed. It is getting to that situation now. One of the least reported announcements in the autumn budget 2024 was the government's plan to introduce MTD for ITSA for sole traders and landlords with gross trading rental income of 20 to 30,000 before the end of this parliament. Barring any issues with previous phrases of introduction, it's likely to be in place from the 6th of April 2028. So they're starting on April 26 for 50,000. Then that'll go 30 to 50,000 will be included from 27, and by looks of things 20 to 30,000 for 28. Now that rollout in that 3 different categories is not to help me or you. That's to help them deal with the extra burden of work that they're going to get. And this is digital again. Let's just remember that word, digital. MTD for ITSA will require most sole traders and many landlords to maintain accurate, regularly updated digital financial records of their taxable income and costs, so they can report each of quarter to HMRC and not just once following the end of year tax year. To comply with MTD ITSA requirements, sole traders, freelancers and landlords will either need to use MTD compatible accounting software, which is going to be another cost, or bridging software that enables MTD reporting using their existing accounting software. So you're going to have to get some extra software to sort out. Listen, there's no point, we can't all moan about this because it's introduced and it is starting on the 6th of April. So I guess starting on the 6th of April, the first, well, that's a bit of a weird one to start, isn't it? A weird date, because if you're supposed to be, I suppose it will be the end of April, will be 1 month, then you'll have May and June, and you'll have to start reporting. I believe you get roughly 1 month from the previous quarter's end to make your declaration. I mean, this is going to make 4 times the work for the accountants. Obviously, all the fees will go up, which then puts people prices up. This is all to do with inflation. Landlords will have to do the same thing. If they start getting hit with extra costs and everything, rents will rise. And ultimately, at the end of the day, it's the individual that pays for it. Do you know, there's actually 10 things to say here, but there's not really an awful lot more to go into. But basically, it's coming on the 6th of April 2026. So if you're a sole trader at that time with a gross, not net, a gross income of £50,000 or more, speak to your accountant or be ready, because it's coming quarterly reports to HMRC. Otherwise, you are going to get heavy fines. And and then obviously every year that's going to drop down. Look how quickly a year goes now. So it's going to be 30,000 the following year and then 20,000 the following year. And that pretty much takes everyone into it. Again, guys, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll keep it short and sweet. But MTD for ITSA, it's worth having a little Google and have a little look what's said about it and how it will affect you. Thanks again for watching, guys. I'll speak to you all soon.